So, I've got a little reveal video. So go ahead and drop a little bit of lore for Habitual linecrosser. Alright? So, first, on live streams, you see me commenting there all the time. And ironically enough, I know when you go ahead and point out when I comment and everything, that you know you're acting as a gatekeeper. And you find it pretty funny. And I'm not going to lie, you do it in a pretty hilarious way. You know? I really do appreciate the way you kind of deliver the eccentric nature of a pretty fucked up situation. But for today's, live stream Friday, or yesterday's live stream now, Friday, August 2nd, 2024, you ended up going ahead and, joking around because you ended up mentioning about, how boneless wings are wings without obstacles, not actually adult nuggies. Well, you ended up going ahead and saying, fight me about it. So I end up going ahead and making the comment, all capitals, Waffle House parking lot rules, HLC. So you're like, you want some? And obviously good-natured ribbing, There was a super chat that came in with somebody. Rob Castle. You got super excited to hear him going ahead and commenting. And the funny thing is, you know the backstory. I know you know the backstory. I know that you haven't vocalized you knowing the backstory. But I'm going to go ahead and make the reference. Just so that way you understand. It's like, hey, this is one of those stuck and caught in the middle type situations. Alright? So, when I was younger, there was a incident that ended up happening. Alright? Now, the funny thing is, I didn't really know Rob Castle. I met him a few times. But the times that I ended up meeting him, he was interested in somebody that ultimately her brother was there with a really fucked up situation that happened to me. Alright? Basement of the house that I grew up in, I end up having a seizure. My head hits the concrete. I'm flopping like a fish. Alright? Keep in mind, I know that he's still laughing about that shit, hearing about it secondhand. But that whole situation ended up causing a blood clot to happen in my brain. Numerous concussions after that. From what I think might be the case, I think my family might have actually faked a funeral and shit up on Long Island. And, for me. And if that's the case, I had nothing to do with it, just to clarify. Want no part in that. Not interested, But to go ahead and clarify, circumstances ended up leading to moving down south, got racially profiled. That situation, steel stool and concrete to the head repeatedly. That ended up leading to picking up about the blood clot and brain surgery to get it removed, affected the speech cortex of the brain, numerous different parts of the brain. Funny thing is, at the time though, I was actually extremely overweight, but at the same time too, had to fight my way out of a lot of fucked up situations. So the funny thing is, I get fat shamed. Even to this day, still get fat shamed. But you can see that shadow right there? that shadow actually shows the cutoff line from where the fat is and where all of the muscle is. So, legitimately, they're down, fat. See? They're down, fat. They're up, all muscle. Like, extreme muscle. Like, punched in the gut, not get winded muscle. So, coming to realize, too, that kind of some circumstances have changed because of back then with that situation, get relentlessly, harassed, walking all the way back home from work, relentlessly ridiculed, just mercilessly fucked with, constantly. Well, ironically enough, nowadays, I'm capable of being able to Sparta kick somebody's chest cavity into the point where, one or two kicks, and ultimately they're not able to breathe for a good 2-3 minutes, except for just the little tiniest bit of air actually making it in and out. We're talking lungs basically having to reinflate themselves. And as far as actual upper body strength, pretty much I have to try to keep myself calm when people try to instigate me, because I keep having to go ahead and fight off that intrusive thought of, I could be an otter. I can go ahead and take the skull. I can crack against a rock and squeeze, and crush the cranium. But if I do that, ultimately, everything that comes after that, all the legal problems, all the headache of, all the work that I've put in to try to not be that person, that all just gets thrown the fuck away. Every shitty thing that's ever happened, or any shitty thing that I've ever done, despite the factor that now it's known, medical issue that caused this incident, as well as coupled with being on a medication that I should not have been prescribed. Alright? Like, had really bad side effects for me. So I just gotta tuck that back away. Just remind myself, hey, your body can't take that much more abuse. I mean, you're already watching your left leg deteriorate right in front of your eyes, and you're going to be hopping along with a cane, trying to figure out how you're going to get the money for a prosthetic. So, you got more important things to worry about. You need to get your situation fully handled while literally being relentlessly surrounded by opportunists every second of every day. Yeah, I don't see much reason to continue on. But just wanted to deliver the message like, hey, if you're wondering what connection we have, that's the connection. And just for the fuck around factor. Alright? Because you're going to get a good laugh out of this. Every once in a while, yes, I do still get asked to go say coffee, bagel, and water. So, say bagel, say coffee, say water. And the hilarious part is, when it comes down to the whole food fight reference, I'm just going to go ahead and just spread one thing, considering how long I've been living down south. Alright? If anyone ever tries to start fucking with me down here about the factor that I grew up on Long Island, I'm just going to go draw the attention up that way by saying, hey, you don't like me? Ironically enough, I'm one of the few people that share your sentiments on sweet tea is fucking miles beyond better than Long Island iced tea. Long Island iced tea is shit in comparison. So if we're gonna be talking about, fighting about the quality of the tea, yeah. So understand that consensus. We could fight about this. Like, we could legitimately fight about this. But ultimately, I can tell you right now, there are people that you'd be more interested in fighting about it if you take your food way too seriously.